Welcome to my channel Rakshak. Gentlemen, today we are talking about Armed Force Special Power Act 1958. Yesterday, Prime Minister Modi was in Central Assam in Dipu, where he declared in a peace, unity and development rally that soon Armed Force Special Power Act shall be withdrawn from Assam, Manipur and Nagaland. It has been partially withdrawn so far from Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland with effect from April 1 because the conditions there are now peaceful in comparison to 2014. Violence has reduced by 75% in the past 8 years. First of all, Armed Force Special Power Act was removed from Tripura and then it was removed from Meghalaya. Now we will like to know that when was it promulgated? It was promulgated in 1958 when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was president of the country. And why it was promulgated? It was promulgated because there was Naga rebellion which could not be contained, and Naga Nationalist Council was running a parallel government. Therefore, in order to check them, it was necessary to promulgate Armed Force Special Power Act. Central government enacted Armed Force Special Power Act for Punjab and Chandigarh in 1983 in order to contain terrorism and to provide CAPF a hand to operate in the state of Punjab and UT of Chandigarh in aid to the civil authority. This Armed Force Special Power Act was removed from Punjab in 1997 after 14 years. To ensure unity and integrity of the country, again, Armed Force Special Power Act was enacted on 10th September 1990 in the state of J&K. What is Section 3 of this act and what is disturbed area? Disturbed area is the area where there is problem of law and order, and this law and order problem cannot be handled by the state police. State police requires the assistance of Central Armed Police Force or armed forces of the country, and this disturbed area is declared as disturbed area under Section 3 by Governor of the state or Administrator of the UT. Now we would like to know what are the powers under Armed Force Special Act to the officers who operate in these disturbed areas. An area declared as disturbed, officers of the armed forces have got special power. That is, after giving due warning, they can resort to firing and can cause death to the insurgents, militants, anti-social elements who are threat to maintaining peace and public order. Similarly, armed forces officer can destroy arms dump, fortified bunkers, position of armed gangs, also if they have knowledge about it. They can arrest the suspects for cognizable crime without any arrest warrant. They can search any premises where there are chances of recovery of arms, ammunition, explosives, etc. Any person who is arrested by the armed forces or by the CAPF along with the seizure, that may be in terms of arms, ammunition, explosive, is to be handed over to the nearest police station within 24 hours, along with a copy of FIR on the subject. The most important provision of Armed Force Special Power Act is that officials who are operating under this act, they have got legal immunity for their actions. That is, the lapses on their part cannot be investigated by the state where they are operating in order to go for the inquiry against them or to initiate legal proceedings. State must seek sanction from the central government, and thereafter, once the sanctions are available, only then these officers can be prosecuted for the lapses on their part. This is one of the most important provisions of the Armed Force Special Power Act, where officers have got legal immunity from the state, and it is a power which is enjoined upon by the officers of the armed forces. There have been cases of excesses under this act. The most important is the Manorama Devi killing in Imphal area, Malom district in Manipur area, Pathribal Anantnag case, Shopian case in May 2009 in Kashmir, Machil encounter Kashmir, 30th April 2010. So far, there have been 1528 cases of extrajudicial killing in the Northeast only. There have been petitions in the Supreme Court for repealing of this act. Matter is still pending. Justice Jeevan Ram Committee was also set up to review this act, which submitted its report in 2005. Justice described this act as too sketchy, too bald, and quite inadequate. Recently, it was in limelight in the Mon district of Nagaland, where army personnel resorted to firing on the civilians who were generally coal mine workers and were coming to their areas after having worked in the coal mines for a day. There have been large number of protests by the public in the Nagaland, in Manipur, for removal repeal of Armed Force Special Power Act. Government of India is on the job to explore and resolve the issue of Nagas also, and they are having talk with them for resolving the issues related to insurgency and getting peaceful solution to it. What Prime Minister has said yesterday in Central Assam, that our government is interested to remove Armed Force Special Power Act from rest of the Assam, Manipur and Nagaland. It may be true in times to come. Thank you. Jai Hind.